Hello friends, welcome back to Data Center Guru Knowledge Platform, knowing A to Z of data center. Hope all of you are safe in this pandemic time and finding this session more interesting and fruitful, and it is also enhancing your knowledge base around data center. So today I am going to talk about data center build. So before I get into detail of the data center build, I would like to rewind back when I talked about data center life cycle. So data center life cycle is divided into 5 stages, which starts with assessment phase where we assess the requirement, assess the site conditions, assess the design considerations, and these are the broader 3 inputs based on which you design the data center, and then based on the design you build the data center actual, because design is only on the paper, build is the actual implementation of data center, and then you operate and manage the data center to across the lifespan of data center to sustain the reliability and performance of data center. And then as a part of continuous improvement plan, what are the optimization you need to drive or you should drive in your data center, you plan for it, and again for that you assess, and this cycle completes. So till now I have already completed 2 stages of the data center life cycle in last 14 sessions: assess stage and the design stage. And today I am going to talk about the build stage. So as you know, I think the definition of build stage of data center defining is, I did not find it much difficult. As build is nothing but actual conversion of your design on your paper or blueprint in the actual site is called the data center build. The process of converting blueprint to the actual construction is the build stage of the design. This is a very important stage of design, and it is also, if you compare 3 stages in the design build cycle, so this stage is the largest time consuming time, and not only time, the resource, the money, everything. So, and why it is important? Because the real benefit of data center you will get only when you constructed well what you planned. So this is a thing which implements what you plan. So how you will ensure that the entire project is executed or built based on what you planned is the key, and that thing I will be talking in my upcoming slides in message. So the first thing which is very important part to understand is the process, how the build process works. So the process is not a rocket science, but how you conduct those activities are the key in build phase of data center. So obviously the first stage is initiation and planning, where you take all the inputs whatever you got during the design phase. So from design input stage to the construction ready document stage, all those documents become one of the input of the project. Then you need to also understand the requirements from the customer in terms of the timelines, in terms of the resources, and so on and so forth. So a lot of things are also included as a part of domain of the project management part of it. So what do you plan initially during the initiation and planning phase is you define the detailed scope and work out the detailed costing, the schedule, detailed plan for safety and security, detailed resource plan and overall project organization, detailed procurement plan, how the different items or different systems, subsystems are going to be procured at different stages of the time. Who are the key stakeholders? In this case, there are internal stakeholders, there are external stakeholders also. So, how you are able to manage those stakeholders? What is the overall communication plan within the project team, external to your project team, to suppliers? Because in this execution, you have got huge number of different type of stakeholders which is available to coordinate with for success. Then we need to also identify risk and keep on managing the risk across the lifespan. So it is initial phase you identify, and this process doesn't get stopped in this stage only. This continue till end of the project. So you keep on identifying and then managing the risk to minimize or mitigate those risks through different actions. Then integration management. As you know, data center is a set of multiple systems and subsystems integrated together to provide you that outcome what you were looking at, which I explained in my previous session. What is that expected? Safest. So what you expect your data center to be safe, secure, highly available, flexible enough to take care of the technological or business changes, should be efficient and should also be sustainable in terms of operational sustainability and also in terms of environmental sustainability. So all these building blocks has to get integrated together to deliver that outcome what you set in the beginning. It is very necessary to set acceptance criteria for each and every system subsystems, because if you are able to specify very clearly the acceptance of them, it becomes easy for you to just go through the acceptance criteria for different system and different stages of the project and accept those criteria. Second is defining the key performance indicators of the entire project life cycle. So what are the key performance indicator which is measurable? You must define in the beginning itself, and then you start controlling and managing those KPIs for success. So these are the key things, but initiation planning phase for data centers, as I said, it is a very important phase, because the detailed, like I stated in the beginning on the design phase, how well and accurate your design is and detailed your design is, that defines the easy in implementation and success of implementation. Similarly, the planning of the project is the key for success. If the project is not planned properly, all these 10 areas of the project management what I talked about and the other 2-3 areas, if these points are not managed properly, then it has got again the cascading impact in your project life cycle. Then you move to the execution part of it. So obviously data centers are not built, so there are sequence of activity how you create, and based on that only you build the data center. So sequence of activity obviously you create in a schedule and all, but I'm not talking about sequence of activity but process of build. So normally if it is a greenfield data center, the first thing is the development of the land. Second is construction of the building, people call it also core and shell. Then fitting out with MEP, mechanical, electrical and plumbing work, and then setting up the entire automation network including safety, security and other systems on the site. Apart from this, supervision with on the site with the right SMEs or domain expert is very necessary, because project management is plain and vanilla. and it has to be aligned with the domain. I will talk also in the subsequent slide the importance of it, but in this case what I'm trying to emphasize is it's not like there is a guy in software, there also a project manager managing a software project, there is IT project, there is network project, there is normal building construction projects. Similarly, there is a data center project. So you cannot have a plain and vanilla project management team sitting there and running the show. It is very, very important to have project managers or the supervisor on the next level aligned and having the domain knowledge about the data center. If you don't have, then that's how you lose the track on the implementation, on the quality of implementation, or the KPIs on the technical requirement, which it would be very difficult to meet. Third part is governance part. So there has to be a third party which has no interest with the design, construction, project, execution team to keep an eye on the overall construction of the data center. So overall construction, I'm not talking about just the project management process per se, but the quality of implementation being done. It's very, very important. If that control is not there, then you may also lose it, because the project team on the site are aligned to the project organization and they follow the instructions from them, and they are binded by certain contractual agreements. So there are some points where they shut their eyes even if there are some issues and advise you to just ignore it. And those things are very, very impactful, and also proves to be very, very dangerous after the execution of the time. So the governance in the project is very, very important to ensure that all the element, all the resources, they are doing the work whatever is desired. And then management and control. Obviously there are different management and control criteria in the project management, which we need to make sure that all those elements are properly managed, and you are able to control the project objectives and deliverables on time. So typically they call triangle: scope, time and cost. So you are able to manage it, but also there are a lot of other parameters like quality, resource, and other aspect of it also that need to be seen. Then the process of construction is simple. Construction is you supply, install, test, and commission. So for commissioning, 5-level commissioning process is very, very important in data center. In data center industry today, I found people directly jumping to level 5 commissioning, which is very, very, it is not the right process to follow, because if you jump directly to level 5 commissioning, you identify a lot of gaps at that stage which you may not be able to rectify or plug in those gaps. Or even if you want to plug in those gaps are very, very time consuming and also expensive to do. So why to get into that stage? You follow the 5-level commissioning process smoothly in a controlled way, and you run your project smoothly. So we always suggest this 5-level commissioning process for data center is must. Now coming back to the closure phase. So before I talk about closure phase, so normally if you see the overall time graph, how much time the entire initiation to closure takes. If you say it is 100%, then 10% normally is time taken by during initiation and planning phase, and another 10% is taken by the closure phase. And 80% of the time is supposed to be taken care by execution phase. However, what I have observed in this industry is closure phase is taking almost equal time and even more time than execution phase. Why? Because we are not able to manage the key deliverables, we are not able to manage the key controls in the project. which that is the reason what I defined acceptance criteria. We are not able to identify the gaps, identify the problem at right stage and plug it. We have not defined the acceptance criteria for different systems adequately in the beginning itself. So those kind of things create conflicts in the project, and then everything comes down at the closer part where you start struggling to close the project, close the contract. So in closure phase, what we expect to do is obviously the physical completion of your execution phase, then completion of the project document. So whatever documentation which is required for project and operations, the relevant documents has to be prepared. Then witness the demonstration of the project acceptance criteria which you defined in the beginning. So in the beginning what you defined is exception criteria for each and every systems and subsystems, and also the final project acceptance. So each systems and subsystems you have been doing during the execution phase at different stages, and the final project acceptance you do in the closure phase with those supporting of, and also you need to witness the successful demonstration of the project demonstration acceptance criteria. Then you do the post-mortem on the site, identify the punch list, you give the punch list to them and ensure that all those punch lists are completed 100%. You evaluate the as-built documentation submitted by the project team so that it is 100% aligned with the actual implementation on the site, and then that completes the project. Another element which is very important part, monitoring, management and control, which I also stated before, and this goes across all the three stages of the project, because this is the parameter which is making all these three blocks intact and optimize these blocks in terms of time, cost, resources and all those stuff. So this monitoring, management and control is a process which needs to be done, and if now there are certain tools also available on the site which can provide you more advanced update automatically on a different forms, where the project management team and other stakeholders can also view and control it, manage it more effectively. So now coming back to what are the key success factors of data center build. So what I plan to do is, because each and every block what you see on the screen, starting from the project management to domain expertise, competent partner, project management tool, quality planning and governance, cash flow, define acceptance criteria and level 5 commissioning. So all these 6 or 8 building blocks are success factors, very important for the project. And with my experience of 2.5 decades in project management and also in data center, what I observed is these are the key factors which make or break success of a project. The major contribution of success of the project is attributable to project management. So project management is a very big subject. It has got a detailed process. It has got 10 knowledge areas. So you may, for detailed understanding of that, because this is not a project management session, so I may broadly give you a broader perspective of project management on data center. However, if you want to have more knowledge about it, you can go to PMI, Project Management Institute. You can download PIM book and then you can study it also. It's a very nice book and gives you a complete, thorough idea about how effectively you should be able to manage a project. Maybe in my next session, upcoming session, I would be throwing some more light on project management. Second is domain expertise. So project management is a plain and vanilla, but your resources or certain resources, I will not say all the resources, but certain set of resources has to align with the data center domain expertise. Because if you put a plain vanilla project management team without experience or knowledge about data center, then again you are inviting a failure of the project. And that's what I also saw in India also, because hiring couple of PMCs, people are more generic project management knowledge or normal building construction, and then they face challenges during execution of data center projects. So you need to have domain expertise in the project team. I'm not saying the overall project manager has to be, but you may have a PMO team more aligned to the project management deliverables, etc. But there has to be a project team who would be working very closely on different systems and subsystems to ensure that that particular systems are set in line with what data center requirements are. So domain expertise played a very, very important role. The third criteria what I found is it is not in sequential manner, but competent partner. So whenever it is large project, a couple of places they try to identify a single contractor or building contractor one, and then MEP contractor second, they may source. But whoever partner you select, you must select a partner who has got track record of successful implementation of such size of the project. If it is not there, then you are taking a risk in that, and then typically you are experimenting on that. You may have to put extra effort to ensure success from that perspective. So competent partner, and that is the reason when you have a tendering process, it is not just L1. You have to put right eligibility criteria, right evaluation criteria to select the right partner. And what my observation has been in the industry is somewhere it boils down to the commercial at some point of time, because technically if you don't put the right evaluation criteria, then your technicality get diluted, and then commercial you just put L1, then you will end up getting the wrong partner for your project. Project management tool. So it's not only just MS project which you are creating a Gantt chart and you're managing the project. For such a large size of data center project, you need a detailed project management workflow based tool which gets the data at different stages of the project, some automatically and some people need to feed the data, so that you are able to create a latest updated dashboard for different type of stakeholders, which helps you changing your gears and controlling the project parameters for success. So project management tool is very, very important to be deployed. I have seen couple of things have been deployed, but it is not end to end. Maybe we might have to develop this tool to ensure that this end-to-end project management is become more realistic and real-time based rather than completely reactive based or manual data based, feed based. So quality planning and governance. So in design there is no quality plan. So if you have a quality plan, you train your project team, but again a governance is required from a third party independent agency do a control of what is implemented, because there are possibility of project team diluting the quality aspect of it knowingly or unknowingly. But if there is an independent agency doing a governance on it, then the chances of those things are almost eliminated. Next parameters, project cash flow. I have seen a lot of projects got delayed drastically for a long time, and cash flow is one of the key parameters. So if you don't pay your contractors, so some point of time or till some time they will support, and after that they will also put their hands off. So if you want to have the successful project, the budgeting and the cash flow in the project life cycle is very, very important. Then defining the acceptance criteria. I already discussed in my previous slide during the design build process the importance of acceptance criteria. And acceptance criteria is not a project acceptance. Project acceptance is one deliverable, but each and every systems items whatever gets delivered implemented, each and every system should have acceptance criteria to qualify. If you have defined it well, very easy to just witness the criteria and give a tick certificate. If you don't define, you go by gut feeling, and then you will have challenges going forward. This is one criteria which is very, very important. And the final part, level 5 commissioning. Again, I talked the importance in my previous slide that level 5 commissioning, level 1 to 5, not level 5. Level 1 to 5 commissioning is very, very important. If you are directly jumping level 5, you are inviting a lot of troubles. And let me tell you, 90% or more than 90% of the projects in India have got compromised outcome and identified during the level 5 commissioning, and even lot of gaps were not plugged and put under the carpet. Imagine, without reviewing the risk of gap, if you are putting under the carpet, it can act as a time bomb and explode any point of time. The stage-wise commissioning from level 2 1, level 5 eliminates the entire issue, because you are able to identify the gaps at right time, and before you do the next level of commissioning, you ensure that the previous gaps identified in the commissioning are complete. And that's how we have got a smoother walkover. So this is what the importance of level 1 to level 5 commissioning process. So with this, I complete today's session, and as I spoke, in my next session I would be talking little bit more detail about the project management aspect of data center, so that it is not only just 10 knowledge areas you are trying to understand, you understand something more about it which would be beneficial to our audience. So with this, we have come to an end of this session, and as I have been requesting from the beginning, I would request you to share this session to as much as possible your friends, more and more people, because sharing only can reach to other people and they can also get benefited by it. Actually, the purpose for this mission is, as you know, the data center industry is already running through a major skilled staff crisis shortage, and we cannot just fill in that gap by the current way what we are running through. The purpose of this session is to create an awareness across the industry so that people more aligned to this, they can evaluate their skill sets and evaluate the market, and they can set the individual development plan. They can plan to come to the data center industry and set an individual development plan for themselves and be part of the industry. So that is the key purpose, and I would like this message to be spread as much as possible. Each and every engineer in our India should have this, and he should go through this. So with this, I would like to wish you all happy learning, safe days ahead, be safe, be at home, and namaskar, take care, bye bye.